Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So, we're coming off of yet another great race. We continue to expand our lead in the championship, and we want to continue to do that. This is no time to rest on our laurels and to take a break. We got to keep pushing hard to grow this. I mean, we want to dominate the competition and leave no doubt who is going to win the championship this year. That's my goal. So I'm not going to be happy with any lead that we have until we get to the final season and we have a big enough lead that they absolutely cannot catch us, and that's going to be very hard to do. So we'll go ahead and start out with going through these wonderful emails. Let's see. So Tang is back at it. He's telling us that, yes, I'm listening to offers, and we know we're actually hoping that we can hang in there for a while with him as the driver for the remainder of this season anyway, and we'll see where it goes from there. Let's see. Let's do pit crew review. We had another great weekend. I am really liking this, which one of the other things it does is that it really takes a lot off of us whenever our pit crew does such a great job, and particularly with no mistakes. Like, as I've said many times before, I can deal with a little bit slower pit stop, but the mistakes generally, when they happen, are huge. They have, 12, 15, 20-second mistakes, and those are huge during the race conditions. All right, so which team has the better drivers? They're equally great. Everybody is awesome. All right, so that helps out a little bit on car 2, but that's about it. All right, now one thing I do want to do, let's take a look at our sponsors real quick. Okay, I didn't think we had anybody for this time, but we'll have a couple next time. We are so close on marketability here to being at 70%, so close. But one of the things I wanted to do is, if we come back in here, we've looked before at the helipad and the tour center. Well, we know that the tour center, it increases the happiness of the fans and it makes a little bit of money. Now that $80,000 per race will take a couple of seasons in order to make our money back, and then of course from there it's essentially free money. So I think what I want to do is go ahead and build this just so we can get that process started. We're not hurting for any money right now, so let's go ahead and get that process started. It'll take 14 weeks, and like I said, it'll take a couple of seasons before that to really make the money back on it, but I'm not terribly worried about that. Also, I'm going to go ahead and build this telepad. Now, we're not ready for this just yet. Okay, but the reason I want to go ahead and build it is I'm hoping that we can start to sign some new drivers that have much higher marketability, and I want to go ahead and have this in place. Again, it's not that expensive, so let's go ahead and do that as well. So not going to worry a whole lot about that. And then we've still got a whole lot of upgrades to do in the future for all the different buildings that we have. But for now, let's go ahead and move forward, get that car repair done. There we go. We'll come back under improve the parts. And for now, we are going full bore onto improving these parts. And you can see it'll be done in about 15 days or so. That's actually not enough time. Our new part will actually be done before then, but we're going to work on this performance as much as we can until then, and then we will be working on that new part. Okay, so our new nose is almost done. There we go. So we'll get that notification. Now we'll come into our new parts, and you can see that's going to be quite the jump that we make there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it over here. You can see 14 days before the race is done, so it's going to take very little time. One of the beautiful things about upgrading your factory is that you can get these parts, especially when you only have to work on a few parts at a time and you don't have to fill out all of these slots. You can get this done very quickly. All right, one of the things, let's see, we're almost done here. Let's go ahead and add in, let's see. Actually, let's see what's crucial next time. So we got top speed and high speed corners. Those are our two spec parts. And then we've got our suspension. So let's see how we're looking on suspension. Both of these parts are nearly done. Okay, so let's see where we are. We're almost done, actually, with most of our parts at this point. Let's go ahead. Actually, let's go ahead and finish this one out and get it up to 100%. Shouldn't be a huge deal, but it never hurts to do it while you're in the process. Okay, let's go ahead and work with that. So once this reliability is done, we'll let it go ahead and roll over to the performance aspect and essentially just keep working from there. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to add in. Okay, might as well go ahead and add in this suspension as well. Not going to really affect things very much. Okay, and let's keep going. Oh, choosing a vote. Now is our opportunity to spend the $1 million. We're obviously going to reject this. We are very much planning to win this championship this year and moving up to A class next year. And we're going to hope that we can keep that momentum going and be able to do just that. Okay, let's go ahead and pause because I want to see these scouting reports. Low quality and low quality. So not necessarily that good. Okay, so 84% marketability. I'll go ahead and put a star here for that. Just for that very reason. And let's see about Trey Knott. Ooh, he's got 2 strikes against him. Low marketability and mercenary, which means that he wants to earn more money than you might otherwise be able to sign him. So yeah, no good there. All right, we are not working on any new parts right now and probably will not for the remainder of the season if we can get by with it. Okay. Reliability work is done. We'll spend the rest of the time working on our existing parts. All right, excellent. I saw a couple of emails pop up that I like. Yeah, there we go. Sophia. Look at that. +4 on fitness and then improvability as well. I really like to see that. Okay, we're on target. Let's see. Next race is, let's just take a look through here. I very rarely ever look at these, but the last couple of races I have. 35% chance of rain during the race. And let's see. Good suspension will be necessary. We're the best right now. Wow, we'll have the softest compounds on this particular track. Okay, so I like it. And now, let's take a look at where we are on our parts. So we are very close to being done on all of these. Very, very close to being done. All right, let's go ahead and fit the parts onto the cars. Make sure we got everything where we want it. So we're going to have a very nice speed boost here for this particular race for car 1 and car 2. So you can see we went from 330 to 360. Very nice. And then 286 to 330. And that is huge. That is a huge jump. So really like where we are on the front nose. Okay, looking good on the gearbox as well. And then we just got some work to do on the suspension now to get this suspension up much higher. Or at least I believe that's the way it is. No, actually I was thinking we had a suspension piece that could go much higher. Maybe that was the nose section I was thinking about. I don't know. Maybe in the brakes. Who knows? But yeah, I was thinking that we had a suspension piece that had a much higher ceiling there, but apparently not. Either way, we are in great shape on our vehicle parts. Here we go. We're going to go once again. I like the only reason I do not do this one right now is because particularly qualifying is so very close. So very close, and it takes very little to knock you off the pole. And if we don't get the pole, then we're looking at a $600,000 bonus. So I feel much better about this particular bonus, as much as I would love to have that money. Okay, let's go ahead and see what tire selection it likes. Ooh, how about that? 6, 6, and 3. We're going to continue with that because I kind of like that. Again, we don't need every tire that we take to the track because we use generally 2 sets of tires during practice, one for race runs and then one to get our qualifying bonuses, and that's it. Okay, fitting parts, we just did that. Let's make sure everything's stuck to where I want it to be. And so far, so good. We are exactly where I want us to be. All the check marks are placed. Let's head to the track. All right, practice and qualifying are now done, and we had a great qualifying session. We will start 1-2 on the grid, and car number 2 has just had the speed here lately. I mean, they've been doing really well, and of course, we've been working hard on our performance as well as the new parts, so things just keep getting better. Hopefully, the race will go as well as the recent races have been going. So our knowledge bonuses, race trim bonuses, and then of course our refueling bonus, and then a level 3 super soft bonus, which is great because those are the tires. It's actually the middle compound of the 3. Setups were great. The fuel, again, is always trying to stretch it to make it to a 3-stop race. So that's what we're going to continue to do in this race. It's been working well for us so far. I see no reason to really change it. All right, let's go ahead and get a save. And every once in a while, I like to actually show you guys the saves because I definitely recommend doing a lot of these saves. In fact, for a while, I was having to do them during the races because I was getting some crashes during the races. And it helps if you have the ability to not have to start the race all over again. But for now, while I'm recording, I will not be doing saves during the races unless it becomes an issue going forward. But so far, so good. All right, there you can see we are 1-2, and it looks like a lot of others are going to be going super softs. A few soft tires on the grid, but overall, for the most part, everybody is doing what you would expect. Now, we do have one car that's starting on used ultras from qualifying. That I'm not sure why they're doing that. Unless they just used up everything else during practice and qualifying. That would be extremely bad if that happened. All right, so here we go. As usual, everybody, oh wow. Let's go back to conserve because these tire temperatures are jumping up immediately. We'll take a look at the weather. Nothing so far. So it looks like we're going to get a nice clean first stint, or at least most of it for now. All right, now we're getting those tire temps back down a little bit. Car 2 is still hanging up there pretty good. So if we need to spend most of the time in this stint in the green, that is perfectly fine with me. I've got no problem with that. As long as we can have the fuel be the limiting factor on this, then we will have some very nice stints. That's what we've been able to do in the past. And if we can continue doing that, I will be very pleased. Okay, let's see what happens with the tire temps. Yep, you can see when you go to yellow, they immediately start rising fairly quickly, actually. So we'll go back to conserve. And let's see, what's everybody else doing? Yeah, they're having to go down, some of them to the blue right now, and that's because they really pressed hard or went full attack mode. So they're now having to back off some. Let's see about the fuel. Everybody seems to, for the most part, backed off on the fuel as well. Okay, not bad. So we'll do our thing here. We'll try to hit our marks and perform our plan. All right, so far we've settled into 3rd and 4th on the grid. So again, if you want to keep up with where our nearest competitors are in the championship, that would be Schmidt here and Pinot down here. That's where they're running right now. But it actually looks like Tony Zhang might be looking to take over 2nd place from them in the championship run. Personally, I just wish they would fight it out for 2nd and let us continue to run away with a bigger and bigger lead. That's what I would love very much to see. All right, let's go back up to neutral just for a few moments, because that tire temperature will definitely be moving up very quickly. Okay, doesn't appear to be going up quite as quickly as it has done in the past. Let's go back to conserve. Take another quick look at our weather. Still looks good. All right, let's look and see what everybody's doing. A lot of blue on here for the driver strategy. Lots and lots of blue. But whenever you press really hard with the engine, that can make up for a lot of speed. So I think that's where they're getting a lot of their speed. What that does do is it burns a lot of fuel, and I mean a lot. Okay, so we're almost to the end of the stint, and you can see it is very close here on fuel. Very close, in fact. All right, so wow, we're going to have to definitely save a little fuel. Okay, let's go ahead and swap out to Sophia. Put on the new tires. So tires were definitely not an issue here. We used basically the entire amount that we could use, or very close to it. Okay, let's go down to low mode on both, actually. Okay, and we'll have Petra come in the next time by. So we were right at that 45-minute mark, you can see, but was hoping we could run a little bit longer than that to try to build up, as we've done in the past, a little bit of extra time so that at the end of the race we could actually put on the softest compound and go from there. But doesn't look like that's going to happen in this race. Okay, pit stop happening. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and go down. Okay, let's go neutral for a moment here on the tires. Okay, so again, we're going to start out neutral on the tire. And tire temps coming up. So we'll run low for a few laps here. Again, I want to try to build a little bit of extra time here, running a few extra laps of in the blue. Try to earn ourselves at least an extra lap on the track. Okay, now let's go into the medium. All right, let's see what these guys are doing this time. I'm still seeing guys running that engine pretty hard. Yeah, I'm seeing several in the pack that are running the engines very hard. So they may be thinking 4 stops here. Because if you use the yellow engine mode, you could see it was going to be very close. Very close, in fact. All right, so running in the green right now, and our tire temps are basically perfect, right about where I would want to keep them. So I'm happy about that. We'll see if they come down very much at all. If they do, then we might be able to go back to neutral for a little bit. But again, we don't have the benefit on car 2 of having quite the stamina that we had with Petra. So we have to be fairly careful about stamina issues on car 2. Not necessarily the case, though, with car 1. Okay, again, we'll try to get those temps back up with Sophia. Let her get a little bit of extra speed as well. Because we'll try to maximize all the speed we can out of both cars. But again, we have more stamina concerns on car 2. So now let's go up to neutral on car 2. Okay, tire wear is looking really good. Particularly on car 1 here. Car 2, poor my cam is not quite as good with the tires. Okay, coming up on 30 minutes into our stint. All right, not bad. I'm actually going to back off a little bit on the engine mode on car 2. Just for, again, a couple of laps. Just trying to save a little bit here and there, as much as we can. Okay, let's go back to neutral on car 1 because the tire wear is looking better there, and we're lower on fuel. Okay, so 39 minutes in this particular stint, so we're looking pretty good here. It's still going to be really close. Okay, let's go down to low and try to conserve a little bit more here for the remainder of the stint. Okay, you can see we are in the lead with car 1, but that's not going to change my strategy at all. I'm still planning to go at it and maintain our strategy. We're right at the 45-minute mark. Okay, tire wear is still looking great here. Okay, let's go ahead and pit. We'll put Lee in the car. And another set of super softs. And full of fuel. Okay, so now we're going to go back to medium and back to neutral, and we are going to set up our next pit stop on car 2. Okay, same thing, super softs. Okay, so far so good. We're going to get off to a good start here with Lee. Okay, let's back off a little bit on the tire. Conserve those tires. Okay, let's go back down to the blue. So that's really been helping. That's really been helping quite a bit. Enabling us to pick up about an extra lap or so over the course of a stint by running the first probably 2 or 3 laps of a stint under blue, and then the last 2 or 3 laps of a stint under blue. It definitely does help. Oop, I need to cool off the tires. Over here on car 2. Okay, let's go back to the yellow on the engine. And we'll wait another lap or so on car 2 before we do the same thing. Okay, let's see how we're doing on lap times. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now, car 2 is definitely not setting the world on fire, but that's because we're running low on the engine and low on the driver, so we're not exactly pushing with car 2, but we've built a little bit of a lead here over the next car in the order. So now what we're going to try to do is just stabilize right there. We're doing great on tire wear compared to those around us, so I really like where we are in our strategy. So the speed isn't necessarily the biggest issue we have to worry about. Okay, tire temperature coming back under control on car 2. All right, so Lee looks like he's in the zone right now. He's gonna try to put down some nice laps. Okay, we're now sitting third and fourth, and very much in good shape as I look at the tire wear between us and those immediately around us. So I'm very happy with where we are. All right, so let's back off on the tire. Okay, 28 coming up on 29 minutes on car 1, only 26, 27 minutes on car 2. It's good to have this little bit of separation. That means we can separate our pit stops by probably a couple of laps. Make sure we don't stack anybody up in the pits. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to neutral. Okay, you can see we've got company here fairly close behind us, but their tire wear is much worse. So I'm not liking their ability to stretch this thing out. All right, there we go. Pit stops are starting for a few of the leaders. Okay, let's go ahead and back off a little bit on car 2. Alright, let's go down to low on car 2. Same thing on car 1. Alright, as we now find ourselves in the lead as pit stops continue. So there's really only, among the leaders anyway, there's really only one other car that is trying to stick to our strategy. It looks like they're doing a good job of it. And, yep, now their pit stops are happening. So we're trying to stretch this out a little bit longer. Okay, so we're right at that 45-minute window now. 40 minutes remaining in the race. All right, let's go ahead and come in for our last pit stop. And so we're going to have 40 minutes left, so not quite enough to put the ultras on, but we're going to keep going where we are with those super softs. But this time we only have 40 minutes that we need to go, so we won't be using the blue engine mode for sure. All right, there we go. Oops, couldn't quite get that one. All right, let's go back to medium there, and let's go neutral. And we'll have him come in this time by, and we'll put Petra back in the car for 38 laps. And wow, that is so close to being able to make that. So close, but I'm not going to press our luck on this. There's no real reason to do that. Things are going good. Look at those mistakes. That is not how you win championships, folks. But I can't say a whole lot about it because, quite frankly, they have been great over the last several races. So can't complain a whole lot whenever you do have some issues. All right, so now everybody 3 stops in. So the question is, who can make it to the very end from here? We definitely didn't do ourselves any favor with those huge mistakes that we made. Okay, the bad news for us is that the leader up here is, yep, that's our competitors for the championship. So definitely not helping us out. Their other car is back here. So they are in great shape right now. Oops, I need to back off. And I have let the tires overheat. Okay, let's go into high engine. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can get by with that. Let's go ahead and press some. I don't know that it's going to do us a whole lot of good here, because if they just work their magic, then we're going to have nothing for them, mostly because of the mistakes in the pits on car 1. All right, but we're going to give it everything we've got. That's for sure. All right, so everybody is pressing for the most part on the engine mode. We are running some really good laps with car 1 compared to the leader. We'll have to see if that continues, if we're able to continue doing that. All right, we're going to be close on fuel. I'm feeling a little bit better about car 2 on fuel than I am about car 1, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to try to get all of the performance out of car 1 because we are gaining on them. And so we're going to try to give this everything we've got. Car 2 really doesn't have a whole lot to gain by pressing right here. All right, so we're 7 seconds out, 11 minutes left. Let's see, what are the leaders doing? Yeah, they are trying to preserve at this point. So we are catching them quite a bit. Now I think they're going to give up on that plan and just go hard. Okay, let's go back to neutral. And no reason at all to save anything here. All right, we're now 6.5 seconds out. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at this. All right, we got a pit stop right there, and we're 2 seconds out. Ooh, this is huge. There we go. And so they did have to come into the pits. They were trying. They were trying to make it last to the end, but as has happened to me in the past, they ended up not being able to make it. So our fuel is looking great. Tires are looking great. So if we can just hang on, we are looking great for a 3-stop strategy coming out successful once again. There we go. So we're finishing up. We need to finish up this final lap. Okay, so we're starting to get a few condition issues, but that's not bad. Right here at the end of the race, there we go. So how about that? That is very nicely done. Another 1-2 finish for the Knee Pit Gaming squad. And that is what I like to see. So yeah, the 3-stop strategy worked wonders for us. Okay, so we'll bring home maximum points again with that 1-2 finish. And Lancaster will indeed come home in 3rd. All right, so the Drivers' Championship, we are trying to pull ahead in that. And we are pulling well ahead in the Team Championship. So Tony Zhang, I was thinking that they might be trying to sneak into 2nd place in the standings, but didn't get it done there. They lost some points there, so we are steadily building that lead in the Team Championship. But as I will continue to point out, anything can happen. We can have wrecks, we can have more issues in the pits, all sorts of things can happen. And of course, it's also very likely that I'm going to make some more strategy errors. Who knows, I might forget to swap somebody out on a pit stop, which almost happened earlier. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong, so we're going to keep pushing hard. All right, driver morale looks good, and actually this is pretty good for driver form across the board on car 1. And car 2, not quite as good, but of course Petra brings it home and does her usual great job. Okay, we'll lose $1.6 million. Still looking very good on money. All right, here we are back to our home screen. So another very successful maximum points day for the Knee Pit Racing squad. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned next time as we'll head to Phoenix in Motorsport Manager.